Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a preview of the 5th French Armoured Division, a new division available in the upcoming Bessier update. Please remember that this is early access and was recorded on a preview build, so what you see may be subject to change. Once again, I'm going to be going through all of the units and we'll put together a quick deck. So starting off in the logistics tab, we have the Puma. This thing has 1,500 supply. You get 4 on a card for 55 points. I actually like it when they add in helicopters that have slightly less supply, but you get more availability. So in this case, you get 4 on a card, but with less supply than something like the Chinook. And that just allows you to spread them out more. It doesn't hurt so much if you lose one. So yeah, big fan. Then we have the TRM 2000. This thing has 1,750 supply. I don't know where it keeps it, but for 60 points it's the same as the Bedford of the Brits, so there you go. Then we have the P4PC. This is a standard off-road command vehicle. It has that 99 km/h speed, really fast. Then there's the VAB PC, armoured variant of the same sort of thing, super speedy, but does have the extra armor, and you're going to be paying your extra 10 points for it. You also get slightly less availability because they're armored, but a really nice command choice, really good for dodging bombing strikes, I bet. Then we have the AMX-10 PC, which is able to basically defend itself with the M693F1, the autocannon on top, which does have similar stats to the British autocannon, just with less range. It actually has more range against helicopters than it has against ground targets, so that's an interesting statistic. But a nice, solid, armoured command. And once again, all of these have their winter camos on because, well, they haven't been repainted for the Summer War yet. Let's move on to the infantry tab. In the infantry tab, we have the Prévoté. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I sincerely apologize for the butchering of the French pronunciation. But they're going to be having their 4 MAT 49 submachine guns. They're going to be not too great, but they do come in with a super fast transport, which is actually more expensive than they are. Let's move on to the Chasseurs. These guys have 8 FAMAS. The FAMAS 30% accurate, 14% on the move. Pretty standard assault rifle, but these guys can come in with the AMX-10P. Now this is the leader squad for the Chasseurs, so it's not a terrible choice. I much prefer it when my command has AT though. So if like an AT weapon, or sorry, like an armored vehicle rolls up on it, you have an AT weapon to kill said armor. But yeah. Then we have the Escote. These guys are just cheap infantry. Actually really good for bringing in the AMX-10P cheap. I've actually really started to rate these sort of cheaper infantry squads just for the fact that they can bring in a armored vehicle with them, an armored fighting vehicle. So in this case, the AMX-10. Then we have the Chasseurs. These guys have 7 FAMAS. They've got the AANF1 and the LRACF1 for their AT. So their AT only 15 penetration, but does have the 850 meter range, which is nice. So great for taking out light vehicles, but will struggle against the heavier armor. 60% accuracy is also pretty good. AMX-10 is also an option for the Chasseurs. Then there's reservists. These guys have been given MAT 43s and MAS 49s. And also are going to be using the AA-52 machine gun. The interesting layout of weapons there. 30 points. I'm curious how well these would actually do. Then we got the commander for the Sappers. These can come in with the AMX-13. It's a pretty standard sort of armored vehicle, transport vehicle. Only one front, one side armor. There's also a AMX-13 though that does have the 20 mm autocannon on it, so that's something to bear in mind. It's pretty nice actually. And considering the This has a machine gun. I guess they're going to be a little bit better than the Chasseurs as a leader. But I'm still looking for a leader that has an AT weapon. We have the Sappers. These can come in with the AMX-13s as well. One with the 20mm on it. Their standard weapons are okay, to say the least. Then they've got the Satchel Charges. Now these Satchel Charges, again, not too great at the moment. I'm really wondering what they're going to do with these. And we got the Sappers. These have flamethrowers, more Sappers. Now flamethrowers in this case going to be a lot more useful than the Satchel Charges. So this guy here, he's got that flame tank on his back, and we'll be able to take out the enemy from range a little bit more with the 500-meter range there. Again, both can come in with the AMX-13s. Going to get 6 on a card. Then we have the Commandos. Now these guys come with SIGs, SIG 543s. They've got 2 mini-me paras, and they've got the LRACF1. So decent accuracy, long range AT weapon, but struggles against heavy armor. But they do have some very interesting weapons. I just don't see how they're much stronger than the other weapons we already have. They do have slightly more damage by the looks of things in comparison. So yeah, an interesting squad. And they do have the Super Puma, but you only get 4 on a card. Then there's the Gren Voltige Commander. These guys, again, lacking an AT weapon for a command unit. Can come in with the VABs though. So it seems like they're split up between units that can come in with the AMX-10s, units that can come in with the AMX-13s, and then units that can come in with the VABs. So these Gren Voltiges, they come in with the VAB and the VAB T20, which also has the autocannon on top. I think this is going to be a really nasty vehicle to watch out for. It's going to be super fast, going to be able to flank very easily. But the Grenadier Voltiges, 10-man squad, 9 for mass, 1 machine gun with the LRAC. Once again, 45 points, can come in with the VABs. And then we have the Appalachian version of these, which is beautiful. Now this is a very nice squad, because you've got your standard 10 men with your basic assault rifle machine gun, but the Appalachian weapon system, super strong. So 60% accurate. I'll take that with the 21 penetration and 850 meter range. Definitely a weapon you're going to want to watch out for. There's only 1 card of these, so you get 6 on a card. Make good use of those. Then we have the Milan 1 squads. There's going to be 2 Milan vehicles that they can come with. So this is like your standard Milan 1 with the S17 penetration, 2,400 meter range. They can come in with the AMX-10P Milan, which comes with a 17 pen standard Milan, and then we also have the VAB Milan that comes in with that standard Milan. Both of these have bad stealth, so you're probably just better off taking the one that's faster, that can get out of dodge once it's fired on. So the VAB Milan is actually a really nice 25-point Hgm vehicle. I would probably take that if you're picking the Milan 1s. But the Milan 2s are definitely better with the 24 pen instead. So yeah, bring in the Milan 2s with the VAB Milan. I think that could be a really potent combo. Then we have the Gruppa Antichar. These guys are double Appalachian squads. Oh boy. We got the VAB Milan, and the VAB T20 as options for their units. Like the VAB T20 is probably the best bet because you're going to be closer up. So you're not really going to get as much use out of like the Hgem from the VAB Milan unless you like unload it, run away. Which you could do, but I think the VAB T20 staying close to this squad could be really strong because you just use the Appalachian to wipe out anything heavy, and then you just use the T20 to clean up the soft targets. So could be another really strong combination of units. And for a 7 strength squad, having 2 AT like this is really nice. So definitely a squad you're going to want to take. Let's move on to the artillery tab. We have the M20 Mo20 Mortar, so just a standard 120mm mortar. There's going to be the VAB with the 821mm. These could actually be pretty strong. Like the caliber of the mortar's not that good, but considering how quickly they can maneuver, if they come under like counter battery, they're just going to be able to get out of there really fast. And they also have a machine gun to defend themselves, so that's nice. But yeah, for laying smoke and stuff, nice and quick, and then moving away, these could be really, really good. And then there's the AMX Alpha 1, which is a big boy artillery piece. 24,700 meter range, HE's 4.19, not too bad. I am curious to see how well these perform in battle. Let's jump over to the tank tab. We have the P4 Milans for 35 points with a Milan 2 on them. Considering these have good stealth, it's actually really, really nice. Dot these around everywhere. You're going to be getting plenty of value against medium and heavy targets. Then we have the AMX 30 EBG. This is a very awesome looking model. Like, again, the model's just so impressive. Very, very happy with how everything looks in this game. It's so, so nice. But yeah, this one is sort of like a recovery vehicle that has a big old gun on it. The 142mm gun with 3 HE, going to be deleting infantry squads. And then also has a machine gun to boot. So good infantry support for 65 points. Then there's the AMX 30B, and this is 10 front armor with 17 penetration. For a 95 point tank, 17 penetration is pretty good at 2,275 meter range, so that's really, really nice. And it has the 30mm autocannon, let's not forget, which has 7,500 meter range. So going to be absolutely chewing on medium targets at mid-range. This could be really, really scary. 59 km/h speed as well is nothing to scoff at. Pretty quick, nifty tank with decent firepower, but very lightly armored compared to some more of the like similar medium tanks. So you're going to have to watch out against particularly heavy tanks, which might end up just one-shotting this at range. Then we have the Mephusto. This thing is a VAB with a Hot 2 system on it. So 65% accurate. Very nice indeed. Only mediocre stealth though, so we'll get spotted a bit easier than, for example, the little Jeeps. But definitely a decent Hgm and maybe worth using. And then there's also the AMX 10, which has the Hot 2 system. So it's going to be the same Hgm as the one before, sorry. I got confused. I thought this was like the Milan and then this one was the Hot 2, but these are both Hot 2 missile systems. So same Hgm, just one on an armoured hull, which has 3 frontal armour. Well, they're both technically armoured hulls. It's also got 2 top armour, which is quite nice, because it means that if you fire this off and the unit is not spotted, and then people arty where it was fired from, you're going to have a much better chance to survive said arty. Then we have the AMX 30B2 PC. This is the same as the AMX 30B2 here, just the command variant. So we'll have a look at the B2. It has 18 penetration as opposed to 17 of the AMX 30B, and then it also has the extra armor there. So it has more penetration, more accuracy, and a little bit better frontal armor for an extra 40 points. Another really kind of scary mid-range armored unit, particularly with that 30mm again equipped on that. Then there's the Brennus as well, which is pretty much the same, just with more armor. You can see it's got that reactive armor on it. So 13 front armor and 5 side armor. Very cool models. I just really like the way that reactive armor looks on tanks. It's very cool. I mean, even without it, the models are just very, very nice indeed. Alright, let's jump over to the Recon tab. We have the Éclaireurs. Demolished that name. The Recon squads. These have 3 FAMAS, 1 AA and F1, and the LRAC F1. This ATGM weapon, or sorry, not ATGM, the AT weapon is actually going to catch out quite a lot of vehicles, I fear. It's going to be scary to go up against because of the 850 meter range. But these can be brought in with the Alouette. They can come in with the VRLA, which has the 50 cal on it. or just the P4. So, not bad choices. Then there's the Vbl Recon, which has a 50 cal on it. Does have the good stealth, just going to be good at helping pin infantry at range with a 1,400 meter range. But then there's the Vbl Milan. Now this thing is actually scary because it's 95 km/h speed. It's got a little bit of armor, so it's kind of impervious to light arms fire. And then it has 108 km/h on-road speed, and also just like the Milan. The Milan is what makes it scary. But for 80 points, with its own recon, this thing could definitely snipe some nasty targets. Watch out for these. Then there's the AMX-10 VOA, which has just a standard machine gun, but with the good optics there. It's a shame it doesn't have better stealth, so not going to be a particularly useful recon vehicle for that price. Then we have the Alouette, which is a standard recon helicopter that we've seen before. We got the Racit in here, which has exceptional ground optics because it uses a radar. And lacking in the stealth that it probably needs to stay alive, but will be useful for spotting things at range. And then we have the kings of the recon tab. This is the AMX-10 RC, speedy boy, already in the game with the territorial Commandos stood there. But yeah, 72 km/h speed with a 17 penetration gun, a very scary combination. Obviously lightly armoured, can get taken out quite easily by particularly heavy tanks, but will be able to ambush very well. There's also the upgrade of it, the MX-10 RC Blindee, which has the, also, I guess that would be like Blindee, but 4 front armour, 3 side armour, looking good. The accuracy is just better because of the variancy. Very nice indeed. You can see the extra like metal sheets there on the side that are giving it that extra armor. Cool. Alright, let's move on to the AA tab. So first of all, we have a little 20mm on the back here of the TRM 2000. 15 points apiece. Could be useful actually for ground support against infantry, honestly. Then we have the Mistral. The Mistral is actually a really good anti-air unit. For 45 points, you get 60% accuracy, which is pretty much the highest you can get for a manpad. And it has a 2,400 meter range, well, 2,475 meters to be specific. And it also has 5 HE, so it can be able to 2-shot helicopters. This is a really, really nice anti-air. You're going to be wanting to use these for sure. Then there's the AMX-13 DCA. This is a radar twin 30mm. It's going to be relatively good for shooting down helicopters and catching out aircraft that fly above it, but might get sniped at range quite easily by seed aircraft. So you're going to want to watch out for that. But otherwise, relatively solid anti-air. And there's a Ronin 2, which we've seen before. This does have radar, 65% accuracy, nice range against aircraft though, 3,875 meters. Bit slow on the reload, however. It does take a while, so it fires 2 missiles and it has to reload every time, which it can get it caught out, particularly by like large amounts of helicopters. Well, not even large amounts, just like a few of them, because it will shoot maybe like, it'll like kill like 1 helicopter, and if there's a second helicopter still alive, the Ronin's dead, pretty much. Same with the Ronin 3. Ronin 3 there with the extra veterancy going for 74% accuracy at 4,250 meter range. Very, very nice. Also has a bit better of a missile, 6 HE on that, so almost guaranteed to 2-shot anything other than like the heaviest armored aircraft. Very nice indeed. Let's move on to the helicopter tab. Not really much to see here, just the Gazelles with the hot missile system. So one with the hot 1 and one with the hot 2. And the hot 2 has that 24 pen with a 65% accuracy at 2,625 meter range. Let's move on to the air tab. So now we got the Mirages arriving. The Mirage 5F is the first one. It is a napalm bomber for 250 kilogram bombs. Pretty fast, 1,163 km/h speed with 20% ECM for 130 points. Not terrible. We have the cluster variant of the Mirage 5. Again, same main stats here. Less agility though, because these cluster munitions look a bit hard to turn with. But 4 cluster munitions with 9 penetration each. This could pretty reliably kill a main tank. So, yeah, not bad for 190 points, because it's going to be killing targets that cost near 300. Then there's the Jaguar with the Seed missile. This only has 1 seed missile. With the 28 penetration, it will probably kill anything it hits. But it's only got 45% accuracy, so it's a bit of a weird seed. You'd probably want to bring in like 2 of them if you want to like reliably kill whatever you're trying to get. And then you're paying on like almost 280 points for 2 of them. I don't know if these would be worth it, but it's nice to get 3 on a card. Could be relatively decent. You can bring in multiple at the same time. Yeah. Then we have the Mirage 3E. This thing has 2 infrared missiles and 1 semi-active radar missile. I think again, you're going to want to use these in like pairs or threes in order to take on enemy aircraft. 1,238 km/h speed is pretty good, but it only has 10% ECM, which is pretty bad for a fighter, because you're going to be coming under fire from a lot of missiles all at once. So having not much ECM is really bad. But you do have the FIC 200, which is a little bit better. It has the extra 10% ECM. You've got better missiles with 50% accuracy, since they use the Magic 2 missile instead of the standard Magic. And they also have a slightly better semi-active radar missile, and they get 2 of them. So, Mirage F1C, sorry, it's not an FIC, F1C. Really nice aircraft. It's actually a really, really nice aircraft. A big fan of these, actually. Just by the way they look. Like, look at the shape from the top. It's just such a nice looking aircraft. Then we have the Hgm Jaguar. This thing has an AS30L. So this thing has 30 penetration with 60% accuracy. This is a super good ATGM aircraft. Since it gets 2 of these AS30s as well, like 60% accuracy is really hard to come by. So it's reliable, which is not something you can often say. You get 2 on a card for 195 points. If you can get side shots into heavy tanks, it's going to one-shot them. So yeah, this is a scary beast. Very scary beast. Finally, there's the Jaguar with the HE bombs. 400 kilogram bombs. Not too bad. 20% ECM, 1,114 km/h speed. A bit mediocre compared to like some of the other options, but that HGM plane, very nice. Also, I'm kind of struggling to see what you'd bring in for enemy helicopters. Maybe the Mirage 3E is good enough to shoot them down. Anyway, let's quickly make a deck. So we'll start off by throwing in the supply. I think it's very important that you probably just bring all of it. The VAB PC is very tempting, but I'm just considering where else I would find my command units. So I think we'll have to go with the P4 PC. In the infantry tab, I am tempted to bring in these infantry just for the AMX-10, because it gives you quite a lot of them for a cheap price. And then we're going to want to definitely bring in these guys, so we'll get them in with the T20s. These are the double Appalache squads. We're going to want the Gren voltages with the Appalache as well. We will bring them in with 20 mil guns as well. I probably want to bring in the Milan 2s, so we'll bring them in with the VAB Milan. The Commandos could be useful, but they aren't technically like forward deployment, so I'm not sure how useful they can really be. Otherwise, some close range infantry in the form of the Sappers with the flamethrowers seems like a good shout. We can bring them in with the AMX-13 with the 20 mil. And then it's just a matter of choosing my line infantry of choice. The Chasseurs voltages are probably the best choice because of the VAB. I think I prefer it over the AMX-10P. Otherwise, it's like the reservists. Reservists could be fun to try, actually. Let's chuck them in there, and then I'll just put a card of the Grenadiers in. Unless I haven't got any AMX-10Ps. No, we got those AMX-10Ps, yeah. So we'll bring in more VAB T20s with the Grenadier voltages. Nice. Pretty varied infantry dab, honestly. Definitely going to bring in some of those mortars. And I think I'll try and use some of these AMX Alpha ones as well. In the tank tab, we'll definitely want the P4 Milans. Great value for money. You can get quite a lot of them. I don't know if 2 cards of them is worth it, but we'll definitely bring in the AMX-30Bs. I am tempted to upvet those, although it halves the amount that you get, it's probably not worth it. I'm going to bring in the Mephusto, and we'll bring in some of these AMX-30s. So we can only get 1 card of the B2 Brenners. We'll bring that in, and then we got the standard B2, which if we upvet, we still get 6 of. It's tempting. Let's do it. We'll do 2 of those, and I'll bring in a card of the leaders as well here to make up for our lack of leaders in the infantry tab. For the recon tab, we're going to want to bring in these VBL Milans. Really, really good. We will want recon helicopters, and then I'm going to want both of these cards. So we'll bring in the AMX-10s. And I probably just want some recon infantry in here as well. Definitely want the Mistral in the AA tab. And then I'm probably going to bring in the AMX-13 DCA just to see how it does. And a card of each of these Rolands. In the helicopter tab, the Hot 2 is the choice. And in the air tab, we're very low on points. So we'll take the Seed aircraft since it's basically the only choice for Seed. And we'll want the Hgms, and then we'll probably want another unit in between, like a fighter of some sort. Maybe the Mirage, maybe the F1Cs are the choice. I think the F1Cs are probably the best bet. So we're going to need like 3 points for the air tab. I don't know where I'm going to get it from. Don't know if this is going overboard on the P4 Milan. Yeah, that's perfect. We'll just take the P4 Milan out of there. Then what we can do is put in the Jaguar Hgm, and we'll bring in the Mirage F1s. There we go. Great. That's it. That is the 5th Armoured Division. I'm just going to call it the 5th FR Armoured Division. So that's the French one. We'll leave it there. That looks like a really fun... Well, both of the new divisions, both the British one and the French one, both look very fun to play. Again, having the command or the supply in here is going to be super important for your armor, particularly in the case of these AMX-30s, because they're going to take quite a lot of damage from like one shot. So you're going to be repairing them quite a lot when you're bumping in and out or jumping in and out of cover. The artillery could be pretty fun to use, and there's also a massive variance in the infantry tab between the AMX-10P, the VABs, and also the AMX-13. So be curious to see how all of those perform. We've got the AMX-10s to zoom around with. The Mistral is going to be super strong. There is a lot of nice units in here that are going to be fun to use, like the Appalachian as well. It's going to be a really nice sort of hit and run division. You're not going to be able to really stand up against like super heavy divisions at range, like all of the T-80Us, for example, coming your way, particularly since there's now a new T-80U in the game, the T-80UD. That's going to be really scary for the AMX-30s to go up against in the front armor. But you're going to be zooming around with these, getting your flank on, and it's going to be very nice indeed. So looking forward to giving these both a go. Hopefully you guys are too. It's been very nice to go through both of these divisions and finally see a British division in the game, French division as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.